Ever feel a cold dread just thinking about opening your banking app? That pit in your stomach, the sudden urge to just swipe away? You are definitely not alone, and here's the shocking truth. It's probably not because you're bad with money, that deep-seated financial anxiety, that urge to avoid checking your balance or opening bills. It's a real heavy feeling, but it has almost nothing to do with your actual budgeting skills or how much you earn. The real reasons go much, much deeper, right back to how you learned about money, or didn't, as a kid. In this video, we're going to uncover the actual psychological roots behind your financial dread. We'll explore why avoidance becomes a coping mechanism and how understanding these hidden triggers can finally break that cycle. Because once you see what's truly holding you back, checking your balance might just stop feeling like a jump scare. So what is truly holding you back? What if the real reason you dread your bank account isn't about your choices today, but something wired into you much earlier? What if the way your parents talked about money, or even didn't talk about it, is quietly sabotaging your finances today? This isn't about blame, it's about understanding. We're talking about childhood money trauma. Now that sounds intense, right? But it's rarely about overt abuse. More often, it's a collection of consistent, negative patterns you witnessed or absorbed as a kid. Think about it. Did you hear money doesn't grow on trees constantly? Did your parents argue about bills behind closed doors? Was money a secret, a source of shame, or something that caused endless stress in your home? Maybe they just never talked about it at all, leaving you with zero financial education. As children, we're sponges. We don't just hear words. We absorb emotions. We take these messages, spoken or unspoken, and form core beliefs. Money is scarce. Money is dangerous. Money causes conflict. Money means shame. These aren't just memories. They become the invisible programming running in your subconscious. They dictate how you feel about money, not just what you know about it. And these deep-seated beliefs are the actual root of that pit in your stomach, that urge to avoid, that fear of checking your balance even now, decades later. But how exactly do these childhood echoes manifest into full-blown adult avoidance? And why does simply knowing this isn't enough to break the cycle? That pit in your stomach when you know you need to check your balance, but you just can't bring yourself to do it. It's a survival mechanism gone wrong. This isn't just procrastination, it's a deep-seated response. Think about it. Do you delay opening your bank app? Do you let bills pile up unopened on the counter? Do you ignore those official-looking envelopes? Maybe you just refuse to create a budget even though you know you should. These are all classic signs of the avoidance trap. Here's the psychology. Your brain, especially the primitive parts, perceives financial uncertainty as a genuine threat. Just like a saber-toothed tiger back in the day, it doesn't differentiate between physical danger and the threat of an overdraft fee. When you anticipate bad news about money, a low balance, an upcoming bill you can't pay, your brain floods your system with stress hormones. It triggers that ancient fight or flight response. But since you can't exactly fight your bank statement or run away from your bills, your brain often defaults to freeze, to avoidance, to pretending the problem doesn't exist. And where does this come from? Those childhood messages. If money meant shame, fear, or conflict, your brain learned to associate it with pain. So now, as an adult, anything that reminds you of that pain, checking your balance, opening a bill, triggers that same protective, avoidant response, the cruel paradox. This avoidance, meant to protect you from stress, actually magnifies it. Ignoring problems doesn't make them disappear. It makes them grow. It leads to late fees, missed opportunities, and that constant nagging anxiety simmering beneath the surface. You're trading short-term relief for long-term pain. So how do we break this cycle when our own brains are actively working against us? How do we retrain those ancient responses and move from avoidance to action? So how do we break this cycle when our own brains are actively working against us? How do we retrain those ancient responses and move from avoidance to action? Well, here's the brutal truth. You know intellectually what you should do with your money. You know you should save or invest or pay down debt. But when the moment comes, it's like an invisible first stakes over. That's your primal brain kicking in. It's an emotional hijack. This isn't just about logic. It's about deep-seated emotions. We're talking guilt, shame, fear, anger, insecurity, all tied directly to money. Maybe money meant conflict in your home. Maybe you felt deprived. Maybe you felt pressured to keep up. When these intense emotions flare up, your prefrontal cortex, that's the part of your brain responsible for logic, planning, and long-term thinking, it goes offline. It literally gets overwhelmed. It's like trying to do complex math during a fire alarm. Your brain defaults to survival mode, and this leads to what look like bad money decisions, like impulse spending to fill an emotional void. You feel lonely, insecure, or stressed, so you buy something to get that temporary dopamine hit, or fear-based hoarding, refusing to spend even on necessities because you're terrified of running out, or giving money away out of guilt, even when you can't afford it because you associate saying no with being a bad person. These aren't moral failures. They're not signs of weakness. They're powerful, emotionally driven responses. Your brain is trying to protect you. It's reacting to those deep-seated fears and past experiences around money. But here's the thing. While your brain thinks it's protecting you, it's actually keeping you stuck. So how do we get our logical brain back in the driver's seat when our emotions are screaming? How do we start to unravel these deeply ingrained patterns? So how do we begin to unravel decades of ingrained fear and avoidance? It starts with one tiny brave step. First, awareness. This is huge. When that knot forms in your stomach or you feel that urge to avoid, name it. I'm feeling anxious about checking my balance. I'm scared I'll see a low number. Don't judge it, just acknowledge it. That simple act creates a tiny bit of space between you and the emotion. It's like turning on a light. In a dark room, next, micro exposures. This is about gently leaning into the discomfort, not diving headfirst. Start small. Can you open your banking app for 5 seconds? Just look at the icon. Tomorrow, open it for 10 seconds. Don't even look at the numbers. The day after, maybe glance at one number. Slowly, gradually, you build tolerance. You're teaching your brain that it's safe. Then shift your money practices. Instead of restrictive budgeting that feels like punishment, try mindful spending. Ask yourself, does this purchase align with my values? Does it bring me genuine joy or address a real need? It's about conscious choices, not deprivation. Money becomes a tool for your life, not a source of dread. And please don't do this alone. Seriously, talk to someone you trust. A friend, a partner, a therapist, even a financial coach. Sharing your fears out loud can be incredibly liberating. It normalizes what you're feeling. You'll realize you're not the only one. Understand this, healing your money relationship is a journey, not a sprint. There will be good days and challenging days, but every single small step you take. Every time you acknowledge an emotion, glance at your account, or make a conscious choice. That's progress. That's you rewiring decades of conditioning. These aren't just practical steps. They're acts of self-compassion. They're how you reclaim your power. But what about when those old triggers still hit hard? When you feel that overwhelming urge to just shut down? How do you build resilience against those moments? We've talked about building resilience, and now you understand why those triggers hit so hard. You now understand the hidden forces behind your money fears. The good news: understanding is the first step to empowerment. Remember, your financial anxiety isn't just about numbers. It's often rooted in those unaddressed childhood money experiences, the patterns you learned early on. But here's the crucial part. You can change this. You have the power to rewire your relationship with money. Your path to financial peace starts now. So what's your first brave step? Maybe it's just opening your banking app or writing down one fear you have. Do it today. If this video helped you feel less alone, hit that like button, share your biggest money fear or even a small breakthrough you've had in the comments below. Let's build a supportive community, and for more insights on mastering your money mindset, make sure to subscribe, ready to take the next practical step. Check out our video on 5 budgeting habits for anxious spenders right here.